All right. Hey, nice. This is cool. All right, so we're live. I'm live here in my home here in Los Angeles. My name's Chase Harrington. If you don't know me, but this is basically I just want to go live. I'm really starting out with this whole YouTube game, and learning along the way. Like every single step of the way has been something brand new for me to embark on. I'm much more of a on set kind of person. So focusing on trying to make sure that we're editing all these videos that we've been shooting a bunch of different interviews and continuing to do so. I guess the reason I wanted to go live right now, aside from just like the fun of like testing out the live to make sure it works, is I want to gauge our audience. I want to gauge you guys. I want to engage with people, and I want to start off. I know live is really powerful right now, and I wanted to start off doing that, and just me stretching out of my comfort zone to present to you guys and those who are watching. Right now, the Best Authentic Self channel is not really used a lot. Like I haven't been posting a whole bunch of things. It's not really getting, I haven't been investing a lot of time into it, quite frankly, because it's just an investment of a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to create content. And so I know that there are people who have figured out that voice, but for me, I really enjoy feeling like I have some ownership of the content before I move forward and post things and share them with everybody in the universe. There's an element of crafting and a fear of God that I have, I suppose, that I just want to make sure that before I'm trying to before I make too many moves, that it's coming across. I guess that I have a good game plan moving forward. So one of the things that I really want to drive home this year is to focus more on micro content, smaller pieces, smaller bits. The original reason that I started this channel was to actually go out and meet more people, to have a better meeting ground for creatives and artists and entrepreneurs, and spend some time with people and have deeper conversations to understand what the driving, motivating factors are in their lives. Like, what is it that inspires people to wake up and do something, even if they're not getting all the glory? There's a lot of folks that we want to be famous or to get there faster, to get to our destination faster, and sometimes usually success is paved with a lot of failures, and you come to realize that both success and failures are both imposters. Kind of in the same way that I think that being authentic is a myth, as is being your best is a myth. I think it's really difficult to be both. I think I think there are some people who are good at being both authentic and both achieving great things, but by and large, I find that being your best authentic self is something that is in a way a myth, and it's something worth exploring in the sense that it's a confusing concept that I think we all feel pressure to be our best. We all feel pressure to be authentic, and you're kind of the hero to bring your best into an authentic scenario. But really, like I guess I'm over here talking a lot, but I'm really passionate about this next season of the Best Authentic Self show and this experience. There's a reason that I spend less time talking and more time listening to other people, because I'm not really the best orator, or the best at just coming up with things to say. I'm much more of a writer, much more of a give me my line kind of guy. But I do have I am a deep thinker, and I think about, what it means to be your best, and what it means to be authentic. And I think about those two concepts almost constantly. And I, I love waking up, when I'm waking up and I'm feeling like that pressure of the day, or I've got to really, I found myself in arenas where I'm like, man, this is a big deal, instead of trying to, emulate, a hero of mine, or trying to sound like somebody that has it all together. Um, I just kind of walk into situations and find myself going, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. And if right now I'm nervous about being on a live channel and having no one watching me, I'm just going to like share that and let that be enough for now. Um, you know, I I have some content that I've been putting together over the last 6 months, and just kind of people that I want to share with this audience, and people. Honestly, people just I've wanted to meet, and I guess now it's time to build the audience. I suppose I've wanted to create something and then find the audience, but I can't. I can't share things to every single person on the planet. That's something that y'all are gonna have to find some interest and intrigue into. And I know that if I were watching this video right now, I'd probably be judging myself, to be honest. Um, I shouldn't be doing that. Um, it's hard to get up. It's hard to get up and try something, and it's hard to get up there and try and be authentic outward, and and to just be yourself. Being yourself is really challenging to do in any capacity. You think that that there's something that you're supposed to become before you're at a place to be authentic, and you know, or you don't deserve success if you're just being yourself, or you can't be your best if you're just you. Um, like those kinds of thoughts tend to like enter my mind a lot. Um, so we've got some great, we got some good people on this show. Curtis King we got one with Curtis. We got something with Brian Siegel. We got some with two guys in Dallas, Texas, whom I know quite well, Elisha Ruiz and Ben Haskey. They're all starting businesses. They're all at different levels of business. They all work at the height of what they're able to do. Being kind of mostly like the like, I guess in a sense solopreneurs, but of course there's some that are further along than others. And what's fun for me is I get to spend a lot of time with businesses that have tons of employees, and each leader has an assistant. And, those are really fun experiences for me to see how bigger businesses operate. But if you want to be an independent and you want to operate more as an independent, you really got your work cut out for you. It's hard. It's very challenging, and it's not just challenging to do it. It's challenging to go after success, and even when you achieve that success, it's like never enough. Success and failure are both imposters. They both disguise themselves as like a beautiful woman trying to seduce you, and it never truly ends up being. It never truly satisfies you. So as you're walking, as we walk through this channel, my gut is saying that there's something that this needs to become that is more offline, because I actually love offline. I prefer offline interaction. I think that online is meant to connect us offline. I don't think that online needs to be the place for it to be. So I look at this almost as like a place for people who want to create, to be connected on kind of more of a one-to-one level. So, you know, when I'm posting something or when something gets posted on this channel, you know, I'm not sure that I guess I'm looking for those perfect followers, the perfect people that want to not just follow, but they want to be engaged and they want to participate. I love to create. I love to create stuff. That's what I love to do. And you know, sometimes we get the feeling, we get the thought that just because you create something that has to be seen by the whole world, and that's just not true. Not everyone in the world needs to see what you're up to. Sometimes you just got to create just to stay sane and to keep growing as a person. And so what I like about what I wanted to do with this is that I actually invest money and time away from Tag Expert to focus on this, as opposed to investing in marketing. I'm investing it into the Best Authentic Self show and podcast and channel, so that you guys are getting kind of an inside look on what people inspire me, I guess, first off, and also people that have been nominated by others who have been on the show. So people who've been on the show, I do ask them for, you know, who else do you know that we could interview that has something good to say, that, you know, their character has been proven by their work, and just continuing to build like that. So I would love to make this something monetized and something that can make money. But at the same time, for me, I look at this as sort of a marketing expense, to continually connect with people who I believe are, who I think are a good fit to collaborate with or work with in the future. So I look at this as something very internal, and something kind of ground floor, grassroots, very much kind of in-person stuff. You know, it doesn't take much in my mind. It doesn't take much to set up a couple mics and invite somebody over to have a dialogue, and then happen to film it, and then post that video up as just kind of record of the conversation. Just have a high-level conversation. That's kind of what I love to do, and that's part. It's like the first part of my creative process, just in general, which is to just get a good baseline of understanding of who somebody is on a deep level. And then once you have that, then creative ideas can start flowing much more freely, and ultimately manifest themselves in much different things than this show. I mean, I don't particularly see this show necessarily being the number one rated thing. I would love for it to be. It'd be great if it became like a number one deal. But I would like what's produced from this show. I would like this show to be a launching pad. I am much more interested in seeing things blossom and grow from good soil. And so what I want to do here is, I guess what I'm trying to get at, this one's taken me about 14 minutes to get to this point. I want to create good soil. And that's what this place is. That's what Best Authentic Self is for. It's to create good soil, so that seeds that are planted here grow. And I want growth not just of this channel, but I want the growth to happen and manifest itself in a way that caters more specifically to individual audiences. So, you know, think about it this way: if you're an investor and you're investing in the stock market, right? You don't have to be specifically investing in only the companies that produce one type of product. right? In the same way, being a media company, you don't have to only focus on one type of niche. And for me, what I've realized, it's taken me a long time to understand this, but my niche, or my niche in general in life, is working with people who have integrity and people who are doing things that are good for the world, and they're um, maximizing their giftings and their talents and their skills and their ability to connect with others and to serve other people. That is turned into a business that's missional, a business that has purpose, a business that has um, deeper roots. And it comes from a place of real truthfulness and authenticity, a real true a spot in the soul, to where, you know, you'd probably say that it was ordained or designated by God. Um, Sometimes when our efforts are met with too much resistance, which of course you're going to have a lot of resistance in your work and life, but if our efforts are met with too much resistance, um, and you don't see the fruit of that labor, it's it could be that there's some element that you're not listening to, or that's not being listened to within yourself. And so for me, like, one of the things that I really needed was to have an outlet to create. And it's funny, when you start creating things, everyone has an opinion on what it should be or shouldn't be, and then you start second guessing yourself on whether or not it should be one thing or not. But you know, I really like to have this channel grow bigger than the podcast is just kind of for the first introductions of these new characters in this show, in this um, whole in the Best Authentic Self channel. And once we have the whole group of people within the Best Authentic Self characters being introduced, then we can start creating more content that's um, funny or interesting or enlightening or uh, inspiring, or just following the journey of each person, and following this story of it. Because I love following people's stories. It's really fun for me to see, you know, okay, like kind of betting on a horse in a way. I hate to put it like that, but sort of like if you see somebody, you're like, okay, they got it. You know, they got this thing. So everyone that I've been putting on to the show, I believe are going to be really successful in all the things that they do, because I see in them things that I've seen in other leaders, other successful people, that I'm like, all right, you know, I'm betting that this is going to turn into something really excellent, and I want to be around for that ride. I want to see how that trajectory goes, and I want to, you know, make sure we capture those little moments in time when no one else sees it yet, and they don't see the potential, they don't see where it's going. I love seeing hidden potential in people, and helping that come out and become who they are. You know, and that's, you know, Jesus talks about how you want to treat others like you want to be treated. I like being treated that way. I loved it when, you know, I had so many different mentors and teachers just, you know, take me aside and be like, man, like, I just see you doing great things, and, you know, focus on this or focus on that. And even sometimes, like, I was never like a great public speaker. I don't know why. I always get tongue tied. There's two classes that I failed, ironically enough, and the two classes I failed in college, which were I just withdrew from, because it was like English, writing, and public speaking. And public speaking was just a technicality because of the way that they had the rules set up. And I'm not going to go into all that. But anyway, so those are the two classes that I failed in, and that is just hysterical for me. But I was always so nervous presenting information or talking in front of a group of people unless I felt God's Spirit telling me what to say. And there are times where like I've felt God's Spirit moving through me and going, "Oh, hey, that's actually really good." Um, like, how did I know what to say, man? So, anyways, I love to. Uh, I want to bless. I want this to bless you, and I want to be careful not to cast pearls before swine. Um, and honestly, I would love to have help to move this forward. Anyone who is interested in helping produce content and share work with amazing people, let's go. Let's make it happen. I cannot do everything on my own. I already have a business I run, and that keeps me quite busy. So yeah. So anyways, who's on here, by the way? I'm curious. Like I got somebody on here. Introduce yourself. Somebody watching. Um, so yeah, that's the end of this stream. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end it. This was good for me to have this dialogue with myself, and I will see you later.